بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه والتابعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. قال الله تعالى: ومن آياته منامكم بالليل والنهار. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال: سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول: لم يبق من النبوة إلا المبشرات. قالوا: وما المبشرات؟ قال: الرؤيا الصالحة. This chapter is about dreams. Before, people used to dream only when they were sleeping. Nowadays, we dream a lot even when we are awake. Dreams are very important, and sometimes when we give them importance more than they deserve, then they become very harmful. According to the Sharia, there is good importance for dreams. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in many of his hadiths have mentioned a lot of importance to it. And the words that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam used for the importance of dreams are very important. But everything and every important thing, every good thing is good as long as we keep it within its limits. We find sometimes people, they give it no importance at all. Of course, that is not according to the Sharia. And sometimes they give it so much importance that they give it importance over the Sharia, over the Wahi, and they feel that the dream can overrule the ayahs of Al-Quran and the Ahadith and the Deen of Islam and the Sharia. Both of these extremes are bad. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam have mentioned the importance of it, and at the same time, he told us to what extent and what limit we can accept it. We have to remember, a lot of times we find ourselves, we saw a dream, and now just because of that dream, we have so much planning and we do so many things just because of that dream. A lot of times, when the dream comes against some of the rules of the Sharia, still we will go by the dream. Many times people, by seeing good dreams, they consider themselves virtuous and very nice and great people because of seeing good dreams. For that reason, we find some of the scholars of Islam, when they were approached with some dreams to interpret them, the answer was, talk to me about what you do when you're awake. Don't talk to me about your dreams. And in reality, we have to compare that also. That when a person like me will see in his dream that he was told that you are the greatest scholar in the world, you are the most God-fearing person in the world, I have to go back and look at my souls, look at myself, that do I really perform my prayers properly? Can I talk to my day-to-day life to people? Can I tell them what I have been doing when I'm out of their sight? Are there things in my life that I will be ashamed to mention it to these people? And now, as I'm mentioning my dream to them, to tell them how virtuous I am, how great I am, and I was told in my dream that I'm the greatest person, can I mention those things of my life also? And would they still consider me so great after telling them these things? Or I'm just trying to impress them through my dreams? So, we have to realize that there's limit for the importance of these dreams, and we should not be impressed by ourselves by seeing good dreams. As I said, on the other hand, Sharia gives it importance also. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said in a hadith, "Lam yabqa min al-nubuwwati illa al-mubashirat." Nothing is left from the prophethood except the good news. No prophethood is there anymore. But people will be getting good news because prophets of Allah, Anbiya alayhimus-salatu-was-salam, give us the information of unseen. There is no way people can get that revelation anymore. There is no way that angels would come and reveal some messages to people now. But Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam says in this hadith that you will be getting good news. Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in asked, وَمَا الْمُبَشِّرَاتِ Ya Rasulullah, what are these good newses? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, الرؤيا-us-Salihah, good dreams. Good dreams are good news for these people. In another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, الرؤيا-us-Salihah يراها المؤمن أو تراله. A good dream that a mu'min sees it him or herself, or someone else will see it for this person. So not necessarily that this person will see the dream him or herself. It might be someone else have seen a good dream, but that person has seen a good dream. There was nothing good about that person. It was all good about someone else and his dream. So that is a good news for that other person, for the person that was seen in the dream. But of course, it might be that this person is also good. This is why he saw the dream, but the dream itself is about another person. And that dream is a good news for the person. So, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in this hadith called the dream al-mubashirat, good news. And of course, good news means a person sees something good about a person. Someone comes and tells you that I saw Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam in my dream, and he was with you. You were with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in the dream. So it's a good news for that person. For the one that saw the dream that he saw Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, but of course it's a good news for the other person that this person had seen him with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Or a person says that I saw in my dream someone's telling me that this person is very nice. This person is a very God-fearing person. This person is a very virtuous person. So another person is seeing a good dream about you is a good news for you. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam normally after Salat al-Fajr used to sit in his musalla, turn around, face the people. After finishing from the tasbihat and dua, then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to ask Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in, هل رأى منكم أحد الليلة رؤيا? Did anyone see any dream last night? So I can interpret the dream for him. Dream is one of the things, as I try to mention it at many occasions, that we may not find instructions about this in most of the other religions that exist in the world. But subhanallah, we find so much detail about it in our deen in Islam, that it's a whole topic by itself. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has given us beautiful instructions about dreams. In this hadith, in this chapter of Riyadh-us-Saliheen, Imam Nawawi rahimahullah have mentioned 7 ahadith. And these 7 ahadith are giving us approximately 7 different instructions about dreams and 7 different rulings about dreams. Very briefly, to know a few things about it, and inshallah as we go through the hadith, we'll talk about them one by one. First thing is about the person who is seeing the dream. That person has to know how to deal with the dream itself. Number 2, the dream that was seen. The person has to determine what type of dream this was. And number 3, he has to realize to whom he can go and mention the dream, because we can't just go and tell our dreams to every person. So there are 3 parts in it. One is the one who is seeing. The second part is the dream itself. And the third part is the person who would be interpreting the dream for you and to whom you would tell that dream. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam gives us instructions about all 3 of these things. As far as the dream itself, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in this hadith, he told us that al-mubashirat, he calls it good news. In another hadith, which is the next hadith here, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, إِذَا اقْتَرَبَ الزَّمَانِ لَمْ تَكَدْ رُؤْيَا الْمُؤْمِنِ تَكْذِبُ. This hadith in Bukhari and Muslim. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, as the day of judgment will get closer, the dreams of a mu'min will always be turning true. Hardly the dreams of mu'min will be false as the day of judgment will come closer. So, a sign of the day of judgment, or one of the things that will happen before the day of judgment, that the dreams of the believers will start turning true. And the reason for that is because there will be more need of knowing things ahead of time. And this is one of the ways of knowing things, having a good news. The person is struggling, going through hardships, surrounded from all around, would like to know whether what I'm doing is good or not. I think according to the Quran is good. I think according to the Sharia is good. But all the people are after me. Even my own people are telling me not to do it. And things of this kind. So I don't know what to do now. And at that time, a good dream could be a good boost and could help, a good help for that person. Knowing that, alhamdulillah, I'm doing good, inshallah. But at least that is only to the extent of having a good news. Nothing to determine that what I'm doing is right because I saw a dream. No. According to the Sharia, I always think is right. And here this dream is also telling me that inshallah I should be okay. So it's a good news. And in this hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us that as the day of judgment will get closer, our dreams will be coming true. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, وَرُؤْيَ الْمُؤْمِنِ جُزْءٌ مِّن سِتَّةٍ وَأَرْبَعِينَ جُزْءًا مِّنَ النُّبُوَّةِ. The dream of a mu'min is the 46th part of the prophethood. What does this mean? Scholars have tried to explain this in different ways. If we look at the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, we find that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam's period of prophethood, from the time he received the first wahy, first revelation, at the age of 40 until he passed away at the age of 63, these are the total of 23 years. If you take these 23 years and divide them by 12, the 46th part of it is 6 months. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is telling us the dream of a mu'min is the 46th part of the Nabuwah, 6 months of the Nabuwah. And we find in the hadith that the first 6 months of Nabuwah was Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was seeing true dreams. In the first 6 months, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was continuously seeing dreams. Next morning he would wake up and he would see whatever he had seen in the dream, he would see next morning in reality. That continued for about 6 months. So now we understand that for the sixth part of the Nabuwah, telling us that one, there was a period of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's life when he was seeing true dreams and he was getting the messages through the dreams. Same thing Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us, believers will be getting some good newses in their dreams, and don't just neglect it totally, because it's the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as the messenger of Allah, he was also seeing true dreams, and in fact the dream of Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam is a form of wahy. So therefore he calls it part of the Nabuwah, which of course does not mean that that person will become a prophet, that he saw a good dream, but simply means that this person have seen something that might be helpful to him. Since our dreams are not part of the wahy, and there is always a fear that it might be whispering of the shaitan, or the reason of seeing this good dream might be even a good dream. The reason of seeing a good dream might be the person's thought himself. So it could be many different reasons. Therefore, a dream cannot be approved for doing anything, or it will not be an order for other people to do something. Just like sometimes you see a flyer saying that there was a person who saw a dream in Medina Munawwara, and now this is the dream. If you make so many copies of this flyer and distribute it, you get so much reward and you get so much benefit. And if you don't do it, you will be destroyed. You will die within these many months, and all of your business will go down, and you will lose, and whatsoever else that they mention in those papers. And a lot of times, many people knowing that it's false, but still there is a fear of my money. So what's wrong if I make 100 copies of it? Let me just make it and put it out. It's the weakness of Iman, and not only weakness of Iman, that puts a big doubt in the Iman. That no one says that you have to make 100 copies of Quran and distribute them, otherwise you will lose your business and wealth. And here this person's dream will make us lose our businesses and our wealth and our lives and whatsoever. So it's part of faith and Iman. And we have to realize it means nothing. Pick it up, throw it in the garbage, and challenge everyone. Then let's see what happens to me in 6 months. It says 6 months, okay, I'll give him 1 year. So this is the dream of one person. It means nothing for the other people, is not a binding rule for other people, and it's not like a revelation for other people, because I saw a dream, we have to do it this way, therefore you must do it this way, otherwise you are a sinner or you are doing something wrong. It's up to you whether you accept it or not. If you accept it, you think is a good dream, you accept it, you do something which is not against the Sharia, it's fine. And if you don't take it, there is nothing wrong. In another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Asdaqukum ru'ya, asdaqukum hadithan." The person, the most truthful people, they normally see the true dreams. So people who have a habit of lying, then of course, because of their daily habit, they will see the same thing that they have been doing throughout the day. False dreams. But this is not a firm rule. That means is not always a good person, truthful person will always see a good dream, and liars will see false dreams. It could be the other way also. And many times, even the disbelievers, kuffar, fusaq, sinners, bad people, they can also see true dreams. And Quran speaks about it. For example, the two people who approached Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam when he was in the prison, they were not believers, they were kuffar. They saw dreams that turned out to be true. Also, the king had seen a dream that turned out to be true. And if we read in the history, we find that Pharaoh saw a dream, after which he started killing all the boys of Bani Israel, that turned out to be true. So, not only the virtuous people or God-fearing people or believers only see the true dreams, even other people can see dreams that will be true. In other hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam telling us a rule about a dream. Man ra'ani fil manam fasayarani fil yaqazah. A person who sees me in his dream, he is as if he has seen me while he was awake. Because فَإِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ لَا يَتَمَثَّلُ بِهِ. Shaitan cannot present himself in my form, cannot imitate me in your dreams. There is difference of opinion between scholars about the meaning of this hadith. Some scholars are of the opinion that this hadith will apply only if you see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the form that he was in when he was alive. So if you see another person, you see a person in the dream who's wearing nice tie and suit and he says, I'm your prophet. According to these scholars, that is not Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But remember, this is one opinion. There is another opinion of many other scholars who say no. Regardless of how you see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in your dream, in which shape or form you see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in your dream, that is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the different look of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has some meaning behind it because it's a dream, and you have to interpret the dream. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam coming to the person in a different form, simply telling the person that there is something wrong there. So it's a message by itself for this person. So in any shape or form we see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that could be Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The question comes sometimes, people see in the dream Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whether in the true form as they have seen him or as he was in reality or in a different form. And they get a message from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When they wake up, they find that message to be not in accordance with the laws of the Sharia. It happens with some people. Now the hadith says, you have seen Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that was a messenger of Allah. But here the problem is that the message you got from him in the dream was against what we have in the hadith, in the Sharia. So what should we do in that situation? Two things to remember. Our Sharia is an authentic Sharia with proofs, narrated to us with authentic sources. And in our deen, when there is a hadith which is weak hadith, we don't accept the ruling of the hadith as one of the faraid of Islam because the hadith is weak and cannot be accepted. So if a weak hadith cannot be accepted to make something fard obligatory on people, how would a dream make something obligatory on people? It's weaker than that hadith. So our hadith, our deen is authentic and came to us with authentic sources, with full chain of narrators. And here a person sees a dream 1400 years later, cannot change the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second thing we need to remember about it is, when the person has seen Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, of course that was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But then how come Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling him to do something different than what we find in the Sharia or in the Hadith? The answer to that is that the one that he saw in his dream was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But this person doesn't know from the time he was sleeping until he woke up and now he remembers his dreams, till this time that he woke up and he remembers his dream, how many whispers of shaitan came in between, and we don't know how many things shaitan have put in the dream that makes him feel that it's part of my dream, but in reality it wasn't in the dream. Many times it happens that after we wake up, you feel that I have seen this also in the dream, and who knows if that was part of the dream or not. But now it's my feeling that yeah, I think I saw this also. So our dreams are doubtful. By the time we wake up, the remembering of the dream is doubtful, if we remember each and every detail of it properly or not. And we also know, while we are awake, sometimes you miss few words. Sometimes I'm telling you something, someone is telling you something, you hear them, you heard the person, but you might have missed few words of what he said to you. And that will change the message tremendously. So therefore, now this simply means that in the dream, the same thing can happen, that the message was different, but when I heard it, I didn't hear the full thing. I heard few parts of it. And because, of course, shaitan cannot come in the form of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but while we are sleeping, after the dream is over, he can come and throw some words to us in our dream. And when we wake up, we feel that, I remember hearing this also. True, the person heard it, but not from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, heard it from shaitan while he was sleeping. During the same night, he saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his dream. Two dreams are mixed up there. One is the true dream when he saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The other is the whispering of the shaitan. Two things are mixed up. That was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. At that time, shaitan did not come in that form, but later on he might come and he just throws few words that later on the person will think both of these were from in the same dream. But in reality, they were not in the same dream. In the same night, with the distance of few minutes, as soon as that dream was over, shaitan came and whispered. So these things, these are possibilities where a person can get mixed up with his dream. It was during the 7th century, one of the good people saw a dream. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, when you wake up in the morning, drink some alcohol. So he went and started asking scholars. And after mentioning his dream and of course they asked him, in which shape and form did you see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And that was exactly how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was during his lifetime, the way he saw him. So finally, one of the muhaddiseen of that time, great scholars of Islam, he said, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam must have told you, La tashrab al-khamr. Don't drink. And you did not hear the word la at the beginning, you just heard ishrab al-khamr. And it might be that you saw the dream, and later on, as soon as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went away, shaitan whispered to you, next morning, drink alcohol. And all the scholars agreed that yes, this is a possibility, this is something that can happen, because it can happen while the person is awake. Of course, it can happen when the person is sleeping too. There is more possibility and greater possibility at that time. So, the reason I mentioned this because this could be confusing sometime for people with this hadith, that when you see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, really have seen that is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So then how come people hear different things, different messages from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the dream according to their understanding? Going into some rulings about dreams, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiyallahu anhu says, he heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, إِذَا رَأَى أَحَدُكُمْ رُؤْيَا يُحِبُّهَا فَإِنَّمَا هِيَ مِنَ اللَّهِ. If you see a good dream, that is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَلْيَحْمَدِ اللَّهَ عَلَيْهَا. The first thing to do is thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that good dream. Number 2, وَلْيُحَدِّثْ بِهَا. And mention it. Go and ask someone to interpret the dream for you. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, continues to tell us, وَلَا يُحَدِّثْ بِهَا إِلَّا مَنْ يُحِبْ. Don't mention your dream except to those who have some love for you, who like you. Don't mention the dream to those who don't like you. In another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, وَلَا تُحَدِّثْ بِهَا إِلَّا حَبِيبًا أَوْ لَبِيبًا. Mention it to one of two people. Either a person who likes you or If there isn't anyone who really likes you, you're too close to the person, who you are not very close to a person who knows good about dreams, who can interpret the dream, then find a person who labib, which means a wise person, a virtuous person, God-fearing person. Don't just mention it to any person, because if the person is virtuous, God-fearing, he would try to find a good meaning and good way for your dream. And a person who doesn't like you will try to always find a bad meaning for the dream. He doesn't like you, so he always thinking evil about you. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said in a hadith which is in Sunnah Tirmidhi, that when a person sees a dream, that dream does not take place. In reality, the thing will not take place until the dream is interpreted for this person. And once the person will tell you what does it mean, the first person that will tell you this is what it means, that is what will happen to you, even if the dream meant something different. But now, because this is how you took the meaning of the dream, so now this is what the meaning of the dream will be, and this is what will happen. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam gives the example of it in Sunnah Tirmidhi, a hadith in Sunnah Tirmidhi. He gives the example of it as ala rijli ta'ir. The dream is as if it is on the leg of a bird, which means doesn't stay anywhere until you mention it to someone, and that person will interpret the dream for you, and as soon as he would do it, now that dream will take place. Therefore, there are some beautiful instructions that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam give us about dreams by telling us, if it is a good dream, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mention it to one of the two people. Number one, a person who loves you. Number two, a person who is wise, intelligent, and God-fearing, knowledgeable person. وَإِذَا رَأَى غَيْرَ ذَلِكَ مِمَّا يَكْرَهُ. If you have seen a bad dream, nightmares, things that are scary, فَإِنَّمَا هِيَ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ. That is from shaitan. فَلْيَسْتَعِذْ مِنْ شَرِّهَا. Should seek Allah's refuge against the evils of it. وَلَا يَذْكُرْهَا لِأَحَدٍ. And he says, don't mention it to anyone. فَإِنَّهَا لَا تَضُرُّ. If you won't mention that dream to any person, that dream will not have any effect on you. A very important part of the hadith. Very important instruction. I hear sometimes people telling me that I read du'as, still I see nightmares. I recite so many ayahs. I recite Ayatul Kursi, Qul a'udhu rabbil falaq, Qul a'udhu birabbin nas. And sometimes people, they get so disturbed after seeing nightmares for a long time that they recite long surahs too. And still they see the same nightmares. So now what to do? The person is totally disturbed. This hadith is very easy, gives us very easy instructions about it. Don't worry about it. Don't try to stop it. Don't think, today I won't see it. And with that intention, you're reciting and reciting and reciting and finding yourself as soon as you go to sleep and you see that dream. Why? Because it's a thought that was going through your mind. You were thinking about it throughout the time, that I'm going to fight it today. And this is why as soon as you went to sleep, it came to your mind. Just like a person who wanted to prove himself being very virtuous, great person. So he used to write some dua for people. People with any disease, challenge. People with any hardships, with any diseases, with any difficulties, come to me, I'll write you a dua, prayers. You keep it with you, challenge that it will go away. 3 days. Within 3 days, all the hardships will go away. Within 3 days, all of your diseases will go away. There is one condition. The condition is, don't think for 3 days, don't think about a monkey. Don't think about a monkey for 3 days. And when we are asked not to think about something, that thing will come into your mind. Now, the person, as soon as you say to yourself, I won't think about what? Monkey, right there, he's in your mind now. Right away you're thinking about him. So he's charging people and making a lot of money and giving people these du'as, and after 3 days whoever comes to him, did you think about a monkey? Yeah, it came to my mind. This is why it didn't have no effect on you. So we have to realize that when we are fighting our thoughts, this is why then those nightmares come, because you are thinking about it before you go to sleep, that you don't want to dream it. And then as soon as you sleep, you are thinking about it. So don't even think about it. And this is, as I said, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gives us various instructions about it. And that is, فَلْيَسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ مِنْ شَرِّهَا. He gives us, if you collect all the hadiths, you find 4 different instructions about it when you see a bad dream. One is, right away, blow 3 times. You don't have to just blow it 3 times on your left hand side. That's the first thing you do. Number 2, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Seek Allah's refuge against the evils of shaitan. That's number 2. Number 3, turn to the other side. If you are sleeping on the right hand side, turn towards the left. If you are sleeping towards the left hand side, turn toward the right. Turn toward the other side. Number 4, if it was really scary, something that is really disturbing you, where it's difficult for you to go back and sleep, there's hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, فَلْيُصَلِّي. Get up and perform 2 rak'ah salah. And with these things, inshallah, all of that will go away. And of course, after we wake up, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, in order to protect yourself against the evil of it, don't mention it to anyone. Now, after seeing this hadith, having trust in this hadith, no one should have any complaint that I'm seeing nightmares that are really disturbing me. Don't be disturbed anymore. That's it. No reason to be disturbed anymore. That's it. Just use this. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is guaranteeing us. If it goes against the guarantee, tell Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He'll take care of it. There are hadiths. So he's guaranteeing us that فَإِنَّهَا لَن تَضُرَّهُ. That dream will have no effect on this person whatsoever. Will not be able to harm him anymore. That's it. He's protected against it once he did all of these things, and he does not mention it to any person. Once he follows the instructions, then the person is safe. As far as the dreams themselves, here Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us about rulings about the good and bad dreams. Remember, there are different reasons that we see dreams. One main reason that a lot of times you don't find it in the books is the person's nature himself. There are some people that see a lot of dreams, some people don't see dreams at all. Sometimes virtuous people don't see no dream. People who are not that virtuous, they might see a lot of true dreams. Doesn't mean this person became more virtuous because of all of these dreams. These dreams have they don't play any role in making the person virtuous or making him bad. This is the first reason the person might be seeing dreams, the person's nature himself. It's like we have different natures. Some people, they talk too much. Some people, they don't talk at all. Some people, they very active. Some people are very, I don't know what to say, but I don't want to say lazy. So, different natures. One of the natures is part of the nature that some people see a lot of dreams. And part of their dreams, then they will see good and bad. They will see a lot of them. Generally, the person sees a lot of dreams. And some people, the nature is saying that they don't see a lot of dreams. The second thing is, when we see good or bad dreams, as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, good dreams are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are good news. So, when you see a good dream, don't just sleep on it. Go and try to mention it to a person who knows how to interpret the dreams. Because then only this dream will be in effect. So, if it is a good dream, let it happen. And let the good part of it come out. Remembering, not always a dream that seems to be good will be good. But as long as it's not a nightmare where you're afraid, you're scared and something happened. And especially, you know what happens when you're doing something good. When we are in the masjid, shaitan comes, I don't know what's happening to my wife at this time. I don't know what the children are doing at this time. Same thing when the person is in dream, is doing something good, shaitan will come and try to bring a dream that that person have died. your such and such relatives have passed away. So just curious, these type of things. As long as there are none of these type of things, general dreams, then try to go and get someone to interpret the dream for you. Bad dreams have many different reasons for them also. One of them is many times overeating. Overeating is one of the very major effects of seeing bad dreams. The person's health situation himself, the person is not feeling well in those days, might see a lot of bad dreams. Number 3, many times our thoughts, they play a big role in seeing the dreams. The person has been thinking about something throughout the day, nighttime he sees that dream. So they have a lot of effect on our dreams. Number 4, it could be from shaitan, the whispering of the shaitan, when the shaitan comes and whispers to the person while they are sleeping. As he whispers to us while we are awake, he can whisper to us while we are sleeping. In fact, he tries harder to whisper to a person when the person is sleeping, as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam have mentioned in a hadith. That when a person goes to sleep, shaitan comes, فَيَجْلِسُ عَلَىٰ خَيْشُومِهِ, and he comes and sits on his nose. And he keeps on whispering to this person through his nose. As I mentioned once before also, that there is some type of medicines Chinese have, that when they treat the person, they could put something through the nostrils of the person and get straight to the brain. So this has a connection to the brain. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us, shaitan comes and sits on the person's nose, and through there he keeps on whispering. And this is why one of the instructions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, once you wake up, clean your nose properly, because shaitan was using that as a path to your mind, to your brain and to your mind. So these are some of the different reasons for seeing the bad dreams. As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, alhamdulillah, gave us a way of protecting ourselves against it, and that is, don't mention it to anyone. Don't talk to anyone about it. And inshallah, in that situation, in that case, that dream will not have any effect on the person. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us one more thing about dreams, which is very important. إِنَّ مَنْ أَعْظَمِ الْفِرَى أَنْ يُرِيَ الْعَبْدُ عَيْنَيْهِ مَا لَمْ تَرَى. One of the worst lies is a person shows his eyes what they have not seen, which means a person tells someone telling people that he have seen something in his dream which in reality he had not seen. So lying about a dream, that I saw this in my dream, it's one of the worst lies in the Sharia. Because naturally we get affected when someone tells us that I saw this in my dream. And imagine if 5 people will plan it, and each person comes and approaches you and says, I saw you in my dream that you were sick. Another person comes and he says, I saw you in my dream that you were in the hospital. That third person says, I saw in my dream that you were in the ambulance. And here 5 people coming to the person, approaching him with the same type of message. Even if he is not, he will feel that he's sick. They have an effect, natural effect on the person. So therefore, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that this is one of the worst lies in the Sharia, that the person lies about dreams, claims to see something that he have not really seen. In another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions the punishment for it. And that is, he said, on the day of judgment, that person will be given a piece of wheat, a piece of rice, something of that kind, and will be asked to put a note on it. And he will be thrown in the hellfire and will be asked to put a note. When you put the note on this wheat, tell me so I can send you to the Jannah. Which means the person will be just staying over there, struggling and going through the punishment, until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rahmah will get him out. So this is the lying about dreams and false dreams. With this, there are hadiths that tell us about what dream, or the dream of what time is the best dream. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam says in a hadith, أصدق الرؤيا رؤيا الأسحار. The hadith in Sunan Tirmidhi and Abu Dawood, that the most truthful dream is the dream that is seen in the last part of the night. According to Imam Ibn Sirin rahimahullah and some other scholars, they say that the dream seen in the first part of the night takes long time before you will see it in reality. According to some scholars, they say normally it takes about 5 years before it will turn into reality. This dream seen in the middle part of the night takes less than the dream of the first part of the night, and the dream seen in the last part of the night, normally you see it very quick. And according to some of the people who are specialists in this field, some of the scholars of Islam who are specialists in the field, they say that dreams seen in the last part of the night, normally within days you will see the meaning of the dream and the effect of the dream in your life. According to Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq rahimahullah, he says the fastest dream that will take place and affect is the dream seen at the time of qaylula. Qaylula means the sleeping before dhuhr. The sleeping before dhuhr, which is sunnah also. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to have a little rest on the day of Jum'ah after dhuhr. The other days he used to have it before dhuhr. A short nap at that time. So a dream seen at that time, according to Ja'far as-Sadiq rahimahullah, is the most truthful, true dream. Most probably it will be the true dream, and the effect of it is the fastest. Which of course most of us don't have the opportunity of seeing it, because we don't get the opportunity of resting at that time. I would just mention one more thing again, and that is about the meaning of the dream. Sometimes we try to understand the dream ourselves. Remember, dreams can have different meanings and sometimes totally different than what in reality it meant, or what as a dream we have seen. I remember once a person coming to me was so badly disturbed where he had seen his mother dying. So he said, in my dream I saw that my mother had passed away. And then he saw the dream continuously for many days. So first day he would not mention it, for a couple of days he would not mention it to anyone, and he would just take it as bad dreams means nothing. But now continuously he's seeing the dream. So when he mentioned that, he was almost crying that I've been seeing this dream continuously for so many days now. I'm totally disturbed. But of course, death in the dream means that the person, inshallah, will be blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have more affiliation with the akhirah, with the a'mal of akhirah, and he will be disconnecting himself from the love of the dunya, which is called zuhud in Sharia. That he's disconnecting himself from dunya by not having the love of the dunya. This is what death means, that the person have disconnected from this world. So death is a good thing in the dream. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, once he himself mentioned a dream. He said, last night I saw a dream, الناس يعرضون عليه. People were presented to me, and people were coming to me one by one. وَعَلَيْهِمْ قُمُص, and they were wearing shirts. So some people had their shirts were up to their chest. Some people had it a little longer. And Umar bin al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu, when he came, I saw him having a long shirt, so long that it was going below his feet, and he was dragging it in his bag. He was dragging the shirt. This is how long the shirt was. Sahaba radwanullahi alayhim ajma'in asked him, Ya Rasulullah, فَمَا أَوَّلْتَهُ Ya Rasulullah? How did you interpret the dream? What does this shirt means, Ya Rasulullah, in the dream? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, ad-deen. This means deen. This is how much deen Umar bin al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu has. This is how much iman he has. In another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, I saw a dream that I was drinking milk. I was offered a milk. I was drinking it. And I drank so much of it that it started coming out of the tips of my fingers. This is how much milk I drink that it started coming out of the tips of my fingers. And then I gave the leftover to Umar radiallahu anhu. They asked him, Ya Rasulullah, what does this milk means? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Al-ilm, the knowledge. This is how much knowledge he was given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that as the knowledge was flowing, not only through his mouth, through his fingers also. And he gave his knowledge to Umar radiallahu anhu. I don't want anyone to go back and now that friend of us will come and he will say, see, the dream means that Abu Bakr is not as good as Umar. The dream doesn't have no comparison between Abu Bakr and Umar. The only thing that a dream has is that the virtue of Umar radiallahu anhu. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not mention about Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu that I saw Abu Bakr with a shouldered shirt, or I didn't give him no knowledge or nothing. This is only the virtue of Umar radiallahu anhu, nothing other than that. So different dreams can mean a lot of different things. Once a person came to Imam Nawawi rahimahullah, who was one of the greatest of the tabi'een and to the best person in the ummah blessed with this knowledge of how to interpret the dreams. So he came to him and he said, I saw in my dream that there were some flames of fire under my bed. He said to him, you better go and vacate the house as soon as possible. Something will happen to your home. So he went and he got everyone out of the house. After some time, that house, the foundations got weak and the house fell down. Another person came to him and he mentioned the same dream. He said, I saw in my dream that there were some flames of fire under my bed. He said, Inshallah, you will have a lot of wealth. Allah will give you a lot of wealth, a lot of treasure. So people asked him, two different people are seeing the same dream, but totally two different meanings. He said, yes. The first person saw that dream in summer. In summer, having fire at home, having flames of fire at home means some trouble because you don't need the heat anymore. It's hot there. The other person saw the dream in winter. In winter, having some fire at home is good because you need some heat. So he got some treasure and the other person has some problem, difficulty. So a person who interprets the dream really has to have a good, solid information about dreams, about how to interpret the dreams. Imam Nawawi rahimahullah says that person has to have the knowledge. Number one, he has to have good knowledge about Quran and Hadith because they are very helpful, very extremely helpful in understanding the dreams. Number two, the person should have a good grasp on the language, on the Arabic language, because as our deen is in Arabic, Quran and Hadith, so same thing, similarly, a lot of times, the wordings of the dream can have a lot of meanings. And we have seen that, I have seen that a lot, that the wordings, sometime a person comes and he says, I saw that person in my dream. And he's confused, why did I see that person? Really, it's not the person, it's the name of the person and the meaning of the name. A person sees a person whose name was Yahya, means life. Because Hay means life. So the meanings have a lot to do with the meanings of the words have a lot to do with the meanings of the dream. Same thing, the person has to have a good knowledge about dreams themselves. At least solid knowledge of Quran. Quran talks about dreams. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's dream of some Anbiya, dream of different people. And Quran talks about and the hadiths talk about dreams in detail. There are so many hadiths. I was surprised when I started looking at the hadiths. There are so many hadiths about dreams and different type of dreams and how to interpret the dreams that there is no way that we can cover those and really go and open some of the books of hadith and look at the different type of instructions given or different type of dreams mentioned in the hadith and how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam or Sahaba ridwanullahi ajma'in interpret those hadiths. You will be surprised that how many hadiths are there about these. So knowledge of those hadiths, of those ayahs of the Quran is very important for the people to interpret the dreams. So these are different things that we have to keep in mind before we ask someone about a dream, because the instructions to us is that ask about your dream a person who as a good person, virtuous person who has good information about the dream, and hopefully if you can find a person with all of these qualities, and the person likes you also. So it's a major part of our life, a very important part of our life. Normally every person occasionally sees a dream, and of course if we would just mention it to any person, and then that person will give us some bad meaning of it out of jealousy, out of hatred, or whatever reason that might be, or because of not being the right person to ask, and he doesn't know how to interpret the dream, and he just something came in his mind, and he mentioned a bad meaning of it. So we have to be careful of to whom we ask our dreams. Imam Malik rahimahullah, once he saw a dream, he did not want to leave Medina Munawwara. He wanted to die in Medina Munawwara. So therefore he was avoiding performing Hajj at the end of his life. As he got into his old age, he tried to stay in Medina all the time. So now it was the time for Hajj, and he's confused. He's thinking of going for Hajj, but if I would go over there, I might die over there. Nowadays, we even make a will that send my body to Pakistan, to Saudi Arabia, to those countries from here. Of course, against the Sunnah. So therefore, he did not want to make any of that type of will either, that send my body back to Medina if I die in Makkah or anywhere else. The person should be buried wherever he dies. So he saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his dream. He said, it's a good opportunity. And this is of course something that was in his mind. So it came in his dream also, and he asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, when would I die? Because I'm planning to go for Hajj. If you would tell me when would I die, then I can make my plans accordingly. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam pointed 5 fingers to him, showed his hand to him, which means 5 fingers. Now as he woke up, still he doesn't know what does it mean. 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years. He doesn't know what does it mean. So he sent a person to Imam Nawawi rahimahullah. Imam Nawawi rahimahullah said, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam did not tell you how long you would live. He's pointing towards the ayah of Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, there are 5 things, no one has the knowledge of those 5 things except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and one of them is when and where the person would die. So he's telling you, I don't even know it. Don't ask me. So the person that interprets the dream should be very knowledgeable. See, with the knowledge of this ayah of Quran, he knew what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was referring to. So these are some instructions that we find in the hadith about dreams, and there are many more, but these are some general rules about dreams that inshallah that could be very helpful. And I think the most helpful part of it should be that we should go and explain to our children, family members about nightmares. Don't let them disturb you. Don't let shaitan get into your life and disturb a whole day and hours of your life or days of your life just by these nightmares. Don't worry about them. Do what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and inshallah they will have no effect on us. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.